I view being small as a huge positive. If you look at back at great investors and who established great track records, they usually did it when they were small. If you look at Warren Buffett and his track record, the bulk of his really good numbers came when he was relatively small. If you look at Peter Lynch with Fidelity Magellan and the really good numbers that Magellan put up, that came when Magellan was really small. The chief investment officer at Yale, David Swensen, made the comment in an interview that size is the enemy of performance, and I really believe that that's true. Once you get too big, you just can't move money around, and you can't be nimble. You can do the typical buy and hold and that type of a program where you have no real performance, but you lose that when you get into the larger institutions. And as a separate issue, if we were having this conversation a couple of years ago and you were arguing that size was better, you'd probably be arguing for the likes of Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns and AIG and Citigroup and Washington Mutual and Merrill Lynch, because those were the big icons at the time. Every one of those is either out of business or has had major problems, and size didn't really help them at all. So I don't see any real benefit of size. The only time that I think size would be important would be on the custody side, and that's why we custody the money at Charles Schwab. We put it with a large, stable firm on the custody side. But as far as the management side, I think smaller is better.
I think the best thing a client can do to protect themselves is separate who holds their money from who advises them on their money. And that means have the accounts always in your own name at a separate brokerage firm, different brokerage firm from who is advising you on the money. Our accounts are housed with Charles Schwab in the client's name. We are able to advise them on the money and move the money around in the accounts. That way you separate out. You never want to make a check out to the same person who is advising your money and then they also take your money. So you don't want to make it out to the same company. You want to separate those functions. I think it's a crucial way to protect yourself out there, because the money is always yours. You can always call up the brokerage house and move it out if you need to. You know, it protects you from fraud.